Hi guys, my name is Asirvo and it is me answering all your questions that I know the married people ask themselves. The question for today is actually a serious question. What is the question? My spouse's ex still calls. What should I do? Now, I'll be very objective about this and I'll try to be very clear about it. Now, the first question I would like to clear is if the ex that calls only basically calls for business purposes or on an official basis, I think you should not have any issue with that. Don't create smoke where there is no fire. Don't create a fire where there is no smoke. If it's basically business, basically official, leave it that way. And then you always know the person you're married to. You know if that person is responsible or not. Now, if it is that they're getting physical with each other, or they're becoming romantically involved, or it's like they're having an affair, this is where the issue is. Now, if that were you, the first thing to do impulsively most times is that you want to call out the person, the ex. I will tell you not to do that. If that were you, the first thing I would do is to sit my spouse down and know why this is happening, and show my grievances and my disappointment, and let the person know that you will not accept this. Now, if that does not solve it, I believe that there will be certain persons in the life of your spouse that your spouse will be responsible to, who the person will listen to. Now, if I've tried the first one, it doesn't work, I'll call the attention of those people. And it has to be somebody I know that the person will listen to, not somebody that you would call and then to become an issue between your spouse and that person, meaning that the person will be unruly to that person and as a result get back at you. Then that person is not responsible for that person. So you have to actually get somebody you know your spouse will be responsible to, somebody your spouse would listen to, would not disobey. Do you understand what I'm saying? So basically, what am I saying? It has to be somebody that your spouse would listen to. Now, if you try that and it doesn't work, then you have to keep trying all these options. The major thing that I will tell you is that don't exhaust yourself trying different options. I told you, you don't need to call your spouse's ex. You don't need to. It puts you on the table of competition, like you're competing for a trophy or for something. No, don't do that. To lessen you, don't do that. What I would do if I were you is to go to God in the place of prayers. If you are a Christian or you're somebody who has faith in God, I'll take you to God in prayer. And I believe that God could sever that tie between both parties. So I feel that if I were you, I would go to God in the place of prayer. If I've tried all of those options and they are not really or truly working, I would go to God in the place of prayer and I would see that prayers get that thing done. You know what I'm saying is, most times what you say to people doesn't change them. It is God that changes people. You have to accept that truth. It's God that changes people, and it is the willingness of people to change that comes to fore. It's not at the number of people you report the person to. It's not how much you call out the exes of your spouse that will change your spouse. No. If anybody tells you that will change the person, is lying. Oftentimes what that does is that it creates more room for justification, or for more room for that spouse to be rebellious and not address the issue but be addressing other things around it. That spouse could actually start saying that, why did you go and report me to this person? Why did you go and report me to that person? So if I were you, I would not try those options that would create more chaos. I'll try something that I know that it would be productive and it will result to a good result. What am I saying? If I were you, I would take it to God in prayers. After I've tried those first two options, calling my spouse and addressing the issue with my spouse, and calling somebody I know that my spouse will be responsible to. If those options fail, I go to God in the place of prayer. Not that I'll start calling them out. Oftentimes that doesn't solve it. If I've answered your question, you can check me up on Facebook, on Instagram, or any of my WhatsApp platforms, or yes, any of my social media platforms, or on my WhatsApp number. Stay good and be fine.